started.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm DeJuan Lightfoot, and I have Susie Lee here. She's a VP and CTO of DevNet at Cisco. I know you all are excited about this because I am. Hey, Susie.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Thank you for coming on.
It's an honor to be here.
So we're at Cisco Live. You care to share some of the announcements DevNet has here at Cisco Live Europe?
Yeah, so we have a number of announcements. So certainly the DevNet community is continuing to grow.
Right.
So we announced last summer that we hit over 500,000 members, and we're excited to say that we've continued to grow from 500,000 to 560,000 members. So we're just continuing to get more people who are excited about programmability, doing software, building solutions with software. Right. So that's really a big thing there. And also in part of that, what we have is we have new learning paths. Because what we found is our community is grabbing onto programmability, but what we're doing is giving them learning paths so that they can actually learn about IoT, learn about networking, learn about security, and these are like specific learning labs that they can actually go through, go to their DevNet dashboard, take a look, and then kind of complete these and kind of know where they're going.
Right.
Another thing that we're announcing is that for our partners, our Cisco partners, they're trying to transform their organizations to get to a new spot. And they've actually been using DevNet tools to help train their employees about programmability. And so in beta, we are actually having a team dashboard that can actually help them take a look at, okay, my employees, how are they doing on these learning labs? Like, we want to give them training to make sure that they have the time and the ability to pick up these new skills. And then actually they can then use that to find out who's the experts. Because some of them said, I have a customer who needs help with this platform and security. Oh, let me see, who's taken these learning labs? Okay, it's these people. So that's pretty fun as well. And then the next thing is within ecosystem exchange. So we have a DevNet exchange. We have DevNet ecosystem exchanges, which is now, we're going towards the business side, which is sometimes you want to play around with code, you want to learn how to do things, and then sometimes you're out there building solutions.
Right.
And when you're building solutions, what's cool is that a big customer can actually use solutions written by software developers, ISVs, and building, as they build out a programmable infrastructure, they can actually also grab software from ISVs and put it into their production environments. So in DevNet Ecosystem Exchange, we have a place to list those ISV software vendors working together with the systems integrators who can actually deliver things to customers. So we have a place to list the ISV solution providers as well as the systems integrators so that people can build these solutions faster.
You mentioned everything that seems to be the DevOps, the three Ys, was it three I's or 3 Ys of DevOps, when it continuous learning, the continuous feedback, and continuous delivery. It seems that DevOps, well, DevNet
absolutely
integrates all of that.
It does, and what's interesting is kind of, if you look at the new set of technologies that are very software based, so if you look at what networkers can do to connect, you know, people are using security systems and all of this, but the technology is evolving. So it is now software based, it involves programmability, but then you take this and then you want them to work in real world environments. You want them to work for the military, you know, and run some of your background in retail. You want them to work in manufacturing plants and utility operations. And so as you're doing that, there's experts there that need to learn the new tools, right? So they're experts in their industry, but they need to come along and also pick up some of the software skills so that they can run their new software systems, right? So that they can continue to deploy and continuously deploy new innovations that come from new places, and then quickly iterate and come to a new level. So that involves like learning about the technology and changing your kind of culture and operational model. And there's people with expertise and they want to learn new things, but it's giving them the tools so that they can learn about it. So we're certainly doing that, yeah.
Providing that to customers and businesses is a great way to not only help the customer understand the technology that you all are implementing and providing, but also, you know, to build Cisco's future network engineering and developers, and I think it's awesome.
It's excellent. And by the way, I just want to say that I am so proud of our networkers because our community has grown, and when you go into the DevNet zone and you look at people who are using all of these technologies, they're making that transition. It's like they're saying, hey, I've been really good at this thing, I'm gonna learn this thing.
Right.
So really the coolest thing about DevNet and what drives our team is really our community who's investing in learning new things, developing themselves, finding new ways to develop, products and work in what their operations are. So they're putting in the effort. You're not just like riding along, you're learning, you're developing. So I'm so proud of our community.
Yes, you mentioned community. So you're the co-founder of DevNet.
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about your background and what led you to founding DevNet?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So my background, let's see. So I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning.
That's fine.
But keep it quick. So it's my parents moved from Korea to the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And so they came to the U.S. It was their first time leaving their country to come to the U.S. and then ended up in Buffalo, New York. And then my brother, sister, and I were born there, and then we moved to the town of Batavia, New York, which is much like the town that you grew up in, right? Canton, Ohio.
Yes.
And so we had a great upbringing, and we grew up in a very kind of American setting, small town, and, just really worked there and had a great time with growing up there and everything. And then when it came time to go to college, I was very fortunate. I went to MIT.
Oh, wow.
And that was actually a big step to go from kind of small town to MIT, and then you're suddenly surrounded by a lot of these experts. And over there, it was hard for me, quite honestly. Like, we had to learn a lot, and then, but got great friends, really learned a new way of thinking, learned how to solve hard problems and work on problems for a long time. And another thing that I did in school, in addition to the studying and learning on the technical part, was actually I played ice hockey.
Oh.
So I joined the hockey team. Not because I was a great athlete, but because it was a team sport. And as kind of we got into that, I had to learn how to skate, learn how to shoot, pass, score goals, play games. And I actually stayed with the team for 10 years because I stayed for grad school. And the reason that I mention that is because what happened there is that I understood the importance of teamwork. So you're like with a team, even if it's just like going on a road trip, the van broke down, how do we get out of this? Two, you're playing in a game, like this person, is great at shooting and scoring, this person's great at blocking for defense. You start to learn that different people have different skills and different roles. So, I kind of had that technology background, and I really appreciated the team sports and everything. And then just as my career was going, then, I started working. I was an innovator. I was a technologist. So I started to do, new technology, worked in the field of mobile video. Like, there was a day that we didn't have cell phones that had video cameras and everything. Now they do, but that needed technology in there, so we worked on that. I worked on HDTV technologies for my PhD thesis. There was a time when HDTV, everyone's like, no, that's never going to happen. You can't see the difference. And that was like 30 years ago, we were working on that. But now we all have it. We can finally buy one, But there's a lot of technology innovations that I was working on. But what's cool about this chapter now is, so I was the innovator. I was leading teams that were doing innovation. But with DevNet, what happens is we can make the world innovators.
Yes.
And so it's not about what I can build and my team can build, but we're building a platform so that people like you, people that are in your community, like you guys can innovate, you can create new things.
Right. And
so we view DevNet as we're giving people the tools to innovate, as we're talking about how to work, and like you need to transform, to get network programmability, right? Innovation, continuous deployment, applications. That's all we need to innovate, and people need to train and learn new skills, and we actually view DevNet as an innovation program where we're enabling others to innovate.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a true leader to have that mindset to say, okay, this is how I can help and give back at the same time, build Cisco, the software-defined network, the ACI, everything that Cisco is implemented here at Cisco Live. The way you're doing that, I commend and salute you for the work that you're doing. Because in my YouTube channel, I get a lot of feedback about DevNet, and people just want to know more about what's going on, how can I be a part of it, and the community just really grasps to it.
Oh my goodness, no, thank you, and we're so thankful, and my team and and I'm so proud of my team, because we're really dedicated, and they're all dedicated in helping the community. And we're hoping that what we do provides value and helps other people. And we want feedback from them. If they're like, this stinks, I'll never use it, or this is great, I'll use it. We want that. And I'm just proud of my team members because they also try to get that feedback. And then we adapt our program to help deliver those things. But really, again, I want to say it's about the community members because, just they're the ones who are learning, they're the ones who are transforming. And that's what we're all motivated by. So, you can say, oh, it's a technology program, it's a developer program, but, when someone's learning new skills, it involves their hearts and their minds.
Right.
And when they're pouring their effort into that, that's what we're hoping to help. And we're thankful when that does happen.
That's awesome. I got one last question.
Yeah.
And for those that are getting into networking and they want to learn Python,
yes.
How do you recommend that?
Yes,
How should
it's
they
great
approach
ways.
it?
So I'm glad you asked because there's more. So basically, when you look at DevNet, then you can say, oh, it's for those people who are already developers.
Right.
Well, first of all, yes, we are for advanced developers and people who can kind of build applications in their sleep. But we're also very much about people who want to learn, people who want to get involved, people who are experts in one area and quite honestly haven't touched software in a long time. Like maybe they took a class but never used it in their day jobs.
Right.
Well, now the technology is changing. It's all software based. And we offer Coding 101 classes. We have Coding 102. We'll say, here's what, you might know what an API is, you might not. But if you studied a while ago, you have to learn what a REST API is. You just need to learn the tools, like what do I use to make API calls? Oh, there's something called Postman. How can I get source code from other people? There's something called GitHub. So our Coding 101 and Coding 102 classes, and we have a set of things, they actually will walk you through this. And then you can say, why do you have to teach that? Because I can learn about that anywhere on the internet.
Right.
But what our community has appreciated is that we actually do the teaching in the context of their jobs. Like if you're a networker in Coding 101, your first API call is not get Twitter followers, it's get network devices. Right. And set QoS policy for applications. So we do that. So and just one other thing, in this you can actually do we actually started a new thing at developer.cisco.com/startnow.
Okay. And
so people can go there and see these learning paths, get going, get started. And here's a question, which is, how many lines of code does the best developer write a day?
That's a good question. Maybe he doesn't write code every day. Maybe he writes down how to solve a problem, then he writes the code.
That's a good answer. Yes, and so basically, so it could be like a really good coder might write 200 to 300 lines a day. Right. But I don't expect everyone in our community to get there. They don't necessarily have to become the coder. They need to become the power user of software. They need to understand what the software tools do. They can sit next to a coder who can help out. And they say sometimes the answer is 0 because they know where to find it. Right. And so I actually wanted to say that we also have something called Code Exchange.
Yes.
So it's a place that you can go to actually find code that's already written. It's code that's out on GitHub, but we've curated it to take a look and say, let's have our developers look at these ones. Right. So you can actually get out there and just kind of get the piece of code that you want to get started and then start working around with that. So we want them to use Code Exchange in our sandboxes to get on it. Yeah.
That's the great thing about technology, how the way it's evolved right now compared to when I first came in. I don't think you have the information holder that you used to. Right now, everybody's sharing information. As a developer, it's collaboration is a big part of being a developer. And I think that's awesome.
It is, and what I want to invite the community to do is as they're out there, they're learning, they're kind of pulling from all of these sources and using them, is to also participate in the community. Yes. So we want to hear from them, what are they doing, and if they have code that they want to put up and share the solution with us, then we can also put it into Code Exchange and feature some of the code that they worked. Like even if you wrote a little, little piece of code, a script or something that really helps, and it would just be useful to a lot of people, share it with us. Yes. So it's all about the community, and we want to empower them.
I agree. Well, thank you, Susie.
Thank you so much.